and Michelle Smallman. How's it going, Evan?
Sadler, how are you?
I am good. I'm good. We got a lot to talk about. I was watching your last hour of Unsportsmanlike, so I want to start off talking about Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that was certainly surprising to find out that Bill Belichick was not going to be in the Hall of Fame. It
Yeah,
was certainly something that I did not expect. It is certainly something that I do not agree with, and I believe that Bill Belichick should be in the Hall of Fame, and I cannot believe he's not, Sadler.
I can believe it either as well. And being in Alabama, being from Alabama, being an Alabama guy, he and Nick Saban have been friends for like how long? They know each other.
Forever. I believe they got
They
initially in
they
touch,
known each other since they were in Cleveland coaching together.
I believe
That's
even
why
before
Saban
that.
belongs. Saban should be in the NFL Hall of Fame, even though he didn't coach that long. Along with him,
Well, I don't know that I'd put Saban in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but I get what you're saying, that he's such a good coach that you're looking at him that way. And
yeah,
I think that Saban and Belichick met each other by way of Saban's dad. I'm sorry,
yes,
Belichick's dad, when Belichick's dad was
but yes,
coaching. And that's how Saban got in touch with Belichick and they got to know each other. So even before the Cleveland days, but you are right. It is a good point by you because Saban is to the NFL I'm sorry, Belichick is to the NFL as Saban was to college, and the college ranks, thankfully, appreciate Saban in a way that the NFL ranks somehow does not appreciate Belichick.
yeah. And also, I want to bring up the fact that Belichick started in the NFL, but then he went to North Carolina for college. Not many people start at the top of the pyramid, then go down. They usually start down and go up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of it, though, the reason he is in college right now, in many ways, is because of this attitude that people around pro football have towards him, and that for whatever reason, he's not welcome into this fraternity anymore. They didn't vote him into the Hall of Fame, as you know. He didn't get any job offers in the NFL. And so he has been turned off by the NFL and he's gone to college to coach at North Carolina. So I don't know that he's going to the bottom as much as he's going to where he's wanted.
That's for sure. And he did do a gap year. And during that gap year, of course, he was on Pat McAfee.
Yeah, he did Pat McAfee. He did a show with Matt Patricia, his former assistant coach, longtime assistant with the Patriots, and he was able to establish himself in the media, and he was able to establish himself as a pretty good media figure in that year off that you're referring to.
Yes, of course, being a Pat McAfee guy, you don't see my short. Yes, I was on the Pat McAfee show a couple of years ago, actually, just before they joined ESPN.
Yeah, so then you know obviously the importance of that show and how big it is, and obviously Coach Belichick being a part of it, that was a big deal when he was a
Yes,
part of it for that year.
and of course, same thing with Aaron Rodgers for all the stuff that he did with them too.
Yeah,
And
Aaron
what?
Rodgers was a part of it. Mike McCarthy now this year was a part of it before
Yes,
he got to the Steelers.
yes, and that's another thing I want to bring up as well is talking about the Steelers, the fact that he got the job, being the hometown kid,
Hmm.
but also Rodgers coming back
Yeah,
because could
I
let me put it this way, guys. If Rodgers comes back, I think we both can agree. Like there's a big if, but there's a chance. If he does come back, will there be? Will he and Mike try to get some former Packers to play on the Steelers,
mm. Okay, so a
like
couple of
Adams, for
things.
example?
Yeah, so a couple of things. I think that in this scenario, it's awesome for Mike McCarthy that he got the job. He is from Pittsburgh originally. You saw him at the press conference. It looked so emotional getting that job because that's his hometown team, his hometown job. And I felt so happy for him because Mike McCarthy is just seemingly a great guy who I think is a very underrated coach. He won a Super Bowl, obviously, with the Packers. He had three 12-win seasons with the Cowboys. This guy's been a great coach for his entire career. I do think Rodgers makes a lot of sense to go back as a bridge quarterback. I think Aaron Rodgers would finish his career in a way that would make him happy and make the organization happy in Pittsburgh because I think it would put a nice bow on his career to kind of rekindle that old relationship with
Yeah,
McCarthy. And in terms of former Packers with Rodgers, I guess Devontae could be an option. I doubt it though. I think if I'm Devontae Adams, I've moved past the Aaron Rodgers portion of my career. They could be friends in real life and friends after they play football. I think he's better off staying with the Rams and opposite Puka Nacua and that team. Other former Packers that they could bring in. I don't know. I would stay away from that if I'm the Steelers. I'm not trying to recreate the Packers that didn't win enough
Yeah.
late on the
The
field.
only player that I would keep on there is on the team. He's a Wisconsin native, T.J. Watt.
Well, yeah, but he's not. I would keep him obviously, but yes, I would not.
Of course,
I'm just thinking about the
he's
former
already
Packers.
on a massive contract. He just signed a contract not so long ago.
Yeah, and I would keep him absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, we got NBA going on. You both remember. You and I are pretty. You didn't finish. I'm in my 40s. We both remember Wemba Walk. When you first heard about the NBA coming back to the NBC, what was your first thought?
NBA and NBC, you said?
Yes.
Well, I mean, obviously I'm biased and that I want as many games as possible on ESPN and ABC, but there is certainly nostalgia from the NBA on NBC. I am in my 40s and growing up, watching the NBA on NBC was a big deal with Bob Costas and Marv Albert and Michael
Yes.
Jordan, obviously. And to
Yes.
me,
Yes.
NBA on NBC is just thinking about Michael Jordan. And anytime I can think about Michael Jordan, that's a win.
Same here. I've been a Bulls fan and in the 90s with Michael. And of course, there was a time with that when we had the breaking news piece during the playoffs, and it was, of course, the O.J. Simpson thing.
Yeah, it was the 95 finals. 94 finals, Knicks and the Rockets, sorry.
Oh,
Right, I think so. Was it 94 or 95? Whatever it was in the mid 90s, with OJ. And it was crazy because it was a Knicks Rockets series, 94, I believe. Knicks Rockets series. And they cut out in the middle of the game for the OJ chase, and you remember the white Bronco, and yeah, all of that was part of the NBA on NBC.
I imagine that white bunker right now, it could be bronze because they want to show that for ever and ever and ever. Especially not since OJ has passed not so long ago himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, I'm sure the NBA on NBC is not thinking about OJ, and they would probably like to avoid the OJ conversation, but it is historically one of the most memorable, tragic moments in the history of sports. No question.
Yes, and of course I want to bring up the Packers. The Packers just hired a new coach. Actually, it was the who was the one we just got that one.
Jonathan Gannon, you're saying?
Well, not just Gannon. They just had another one. They just added. It was one of the coordinators. The strength and thing was something like that. Can you look at that for me, Ashton?
I'm on it. I'm looking for it.
While he does that, I will bring up the fact that, of course, Evan on Sportsmanlike with Michelle and Chris. We all know Chris just had a baby boy,
Mm-hmm.
and hope that baby boy is doing well. I wondered, can't he throw a football better than holding a baby?
Well, I think he's pretty damn good at holding a baby, and I think he's going to be a great dad, and I think he's already a great dad, and I could tell already in terms of the way in which he cares for his son, and it's wonderful to see as a friend and as a teammate how happy it makes he and his wife. Um, I don't know how well he could throw a football. That is interesting. He claims he can't throw a football that well, and he claims that all that part of the sport is not for him. He was a great athlete growing up, playing baseball, playing basketball, and obviously football. But his first love was actually baseball.
Great player. Not many people can play more than one sport. Like Deion Sanders. Look at Deion. He's a two-time.
Yeah, I don't know that he
he's a
could have
two-sport
played pro
player.
baseball. I don't know that he could have played pro baseball, but he
I don't
was a
think so.
very
I don't.
good
I
baseball.
cannot see him play pro baseball. The only far I can see him go is the way when Michael Jordan was playing baseball. When he was playing for the White Sox, the single A team
Mm.
in Birmingham, Alabama, because that's my area with the Birmingham Barons. I actually saw him play a couple of games. I saw him hit his first home run. One game he hit the ball so hard, the pitcher caught it and his hand got broken. Broke his hand basically.
Yeah.
And yes, I do have a program with him on the cover in somewhat mint condition.
Wow. Wow.
But here's the thing though, the manager of that team at that time was Tony, the one of the former
Terry Francona.
Terry Francona, yes. And we all know how he turned out.
Oh, he's great and won a World Series, obviously, with the Red Sox. He's a hell of a manager, current manager of the Cincinnati Reds, yes. But I don't think Canty ever thought about playing pro baseball. Maybe he did, but
Yeah.
certainly not once he played in the NFL, and now obviously an
True.
extremely successful broadcaster.
So of course, so I got to bring those smalls. I was not here when you brought her here and showed her around here, but I wonder if Smalls ever played softball.
Did she play softball?
Oh, she played. Oh, any sport that she was
I
in.
don't think so. She played soccer. I don't believe she played softball. Michelle
Well,
was a soccer player growing up,
yeah,
to my knowledge.
can I get back to my notes that I got here? College football.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, Ashton's moving a little slowly, right? He should be giving you more information. You got to question
on,
Ashton
Ashton.
here, right, Sadler? Yeah, get on Ashton
Yeah,
here. What's
come
going
on.
on?
I don't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Wow,
It's
Ash, come on.
Bobby
Do a better job,
Babbage.
Ash.
yeah,
Let's
Bobby
get to
Babbitt's,
college football. We got to deal with the
yeah.
ineptitude of
I
Ash.
know,
Bobby Babbitt, yeah.
Bobby Babbage. That's
Bobby
the,
Babbage,
that's who the
yeah.
Packers hired, according to Tom Pelissero.
Yeah. And of course, we should have got to see about how the OC is going to pan out. And still does the carousel going on. And I know he actually brought this up just yesterday. So when you had Shifter on, and he said that by the end of today, that all the head coaching jobs will be filled. Only one has been filled. I think there's like 3 more left to go, and the one that was filled was the Cleveland Browns. I thought the Cleveland Browns was going to be the last one to be hired, and I thought that coach was going to be Freddie Kitchens, which, of course, it wasn't.
Freddie Kitchens, you thought he was going to be hired again?
At least give him a call.
Yeah, well, Adam Schefter, to your point, said the other day with us that he thought all of the jobs that were going to be filled pretty quickly over the next 48 hours. And what happened here is that we had the Browns hire of Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator from the Ravens. And we still are waiting on the Raiders, and we're still waiting on the Cardinals, and those are the only 2 at this point.
Right. Do you think those could be filled, say, during Jim Matamali?
By Jim Matamali, so that'll be about, what, in 3 hours or so? They could be. I mean, it seems like Arizona would be the more likely that maybe they could go out and hire Mike LaFleur, the brother of Matt LaFleur, Packers coach, who's an offensive coordinator with the Rams.
Brother, Mike, yes. I think even if he did not get a job, and there's any openings for the Packers, I know why he can open up. If there's any other openings for the Packers, why couldn't he bring on his own brother to the team? Because that could help.
I don't think if I am Matt LaFleur, I would not hire my brother on my staff. I don't think that is. I don't think that's going to be helpful.
It's like you bring your own brother on Unsportsmanlike. How would that feel?
Yeah, I have one sibling, and I would not bring that sibling onto the show, not because I don't love my sibling, but because of the fact that I don't think mixing the business with the family in this case makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I would never have anyone from my family on that list.
Wow, you would never have anybody from your family on.
Only one, and that's my nephew. My oldest, my youngest nephew, Lawson. He is a football player himself. He's playing volleyball right now.
Mm.
He's only 13 years old, and he's about your height.
You don't want to rag on your own
height,
family.
Evan.
Yeah, well, you don't want to rag on your own family because, like, what happened hypothetically if you have a producer like Ashton that can't find anything? You don't want to rag on your own family, right? Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Maybe you need someone like a Wooly.
I agree. He would have been better. He's too busy because he's too good. I'm here to help.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we also have to talk about one of my favorite things. Well, we're gonna go back into the college football because yes, we have a national title that was just won by Indiana. 16-0. That's the first time since Indiana had a 16-0 record in their school franchise in football. That is.
So Indiana was amazing this year, and no one saw it coming. Let's be honest. I mean,
yeah, I didn't even see it coming. I actually was wanting to see Miami win it.
Yeah, so did I. That's where I wanted to go. I was rooting for the University of Miami. I spent a lot of time in South Florida, and I lived there for a long time, and I worked on the University of Miami broadcast.
Yeah, you did that along with, of course, Jim Welledge, Jim Matamati as well, down there as well.
Yeah, I worked with Jim. I was doing the post-game shows for the University of Miami, so I certainly was rooting for them because of my familiarity and my support of the team. But Indiana was unbelievable. Indiana having an undefeated season, Mendoza kind of coming out of nowhere, Signetti coming out of nowhere. His brother was a one-year assistant coach for the Packers, interestingly enough. For 1 or 2 years, he coached them as a quarterbacks coach, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, this is the guy that is a great coach with a great quarterback, and it was a great story this year. Give him credit.
Yeah, and of course, we all know Chris Orr, a friend of ESPN Madison. His brother has yet to get an opening, to get it himself. Where do you see Zach Orr going?
Well, I haven't heard him at all going to the Giants, which is interesting, which means that maybe the experience with Harbaugh wasn't great last year. I don't know. Maybe possibly if Jim Leonard gets a job somewhere, maybe Chris Orr can put a good word in for his brother, and
Sure.
then all of a sudden, he goes with Leonard. I don't know. I truly don't know. Your guess is as good as mine in this case.
Exactly, because Zach is pretty
Maybe
good
you
at
can get him to be your producer since Ashton is obviously struggling here.
apparently.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, we want to talk about the fact that Lee Corso had just finished his run with College Game Day. When you think of Lee Corso, what's the first thing that comes to you in mind?
Um, College football. Like I think that he is probably the one individual that is associated the most with the sport. It's almost like Dick Vitale to college basketball, Charles Barkley to the NBA, John Madden for the NFL. I mean, rest in peace. Like there's people that are just attached to a sport in the best of ways. And I believe that Lee Corso's greatness is just attached to college football and brings out all the great moments in the history of college football. And of
Well,
course, the pencil with Not So Fast.
yeah, I always love the not so fast. I know one thing when God forbid his time comes on his tombstone, it will say in quotes, not too fast.
Yeah, well, let's not think about that, but I understand what you're saying, and it's always good to have that thing that you're remembered for.
And of course, Pat McAfee, he's doing a great. Actually, let me ask you a question about him. What do you think about his song Dookie?
About McAfee song Dookie?
Yeah.
I get Pat McAfee is a legend. Pat McAfee has been successful at every single thing he's done, and I saw him put that out, and the streams were through the roof. He's been great in WWE. He's been great on the air. He had a great career as a punter. Everything he touches turns to gold, and he's been amazing.
That's right. In fact, that's why I want to bring this up to you.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay, a lucha libre mask.
Yeah.
Are you Sadler Mysterio Jr.?
You can see that.
Hmm.
Yes.
I wasn't told to bring my mask, so I'm a little upset.
Wow.
Yeah. But also, besides Nacho Libre, I know you are a bigger WWE fan, but
Hmm.
I beg to differ.
Whoa! I didn't know that was you. Oh God, what's happening here? Oh, okay. I thought you were taking your shirt off.
I was worried. I did not do enough prep to help Sadler.
Oh wow.
I'm a bigger fan than you are.
Wow, you got the Jey Uso.
Yeah, I'm a J guy. I'm a Triple H guy. In fact,
We had Triple H on today.
I got truth. Yes. And because I saw the interview with Paul Triple H Levesque this morning on Unsportsmanlike, talking about this weekend. Of course, we got the WWE's Royal Rumble this Saturday. Make sure you watch that on ESPN app.
Mhm.
Oh, well, you get your ESPN.
Yes, good live read.
Yes, I'm running from the best, and I will be doing this more and more often.
Yeah, you and Ashton. I agree. All right, now what do you love so much about Jey Uso?
Well, the fact that one thing the Usos don't say, but they all are family and all related back to the Dream of White Johnson. Dream of
Say it
White
again.
Johnson, the cousin of The Rock.
Yeah, oh, yeah, they're all part of it. They're all part of it, and the whole bloodline. I mean, that's a storyline, but it's also the real thing where they're all actually related.
Yeah, versus the new bloodline when that came about, when that storyline.
Yes, and now what are your thoughts on the Vision?
The Vision is kind of like if you had to take. Well, it's kind of weird, but it's funny. He's kind of taking kids from a candy store on steroids.
Hmm.
But if I put it in like sports terms, I would say kind of like the Packers and having a love child with the Cleveland Browns.
So the Vision, Braun Breaker,
Yes,
right? Logan Paul.
yes. Of course, I'm an Logan guy. I love drinking pine.
Mm-hmm. And who else is part of the Vision? Seth Rollins.
Yes, that's always, even though
He's hurt.
he's been hurt. And of course, you
Uh,
brought this up earlier that I love the part that when you put an injury on in the storyline.
yes, that's actually featured in Unreal in the documentary, which is the reality show, which is great.
Yeah, I haven't
But
seen it, but I am gonna watch that. I go watch the first season and catch up on
oh,
that.
you haven't watched it yet?
I will be. I just haven't
You
done
know what
enough
you
of
should
it.
do? I feel like Ashton doesn't know any of this. You should go to his house and watch.
I am lost right now. About the only thing I know wrestling
Yeah,
is Royal
Ash,
Rumble.
go. You should have Sadler over, and you guys should watch this.
Heat tonight?
You got it.
Tonight, the
Right,
two of
right,
you.
got to follow through.
That's true. It is a core value.
It really is, Sadler. It really is a great show, honestly. Just the behind the scenes of the WWE, because a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of people back in the day didn't like that stuff. They didn't
Yeah.
want, and they still don't want to see what goes on behind the scenes
Yeah,
in the
in fact,
WWE.
when I was younger, actually,
Hmm.
one of my dream jobs I wanted to be is one of the guys that works the power ropes,
One of the guys that works the power.
the power attendants. I
Well, I
always
think.
wanted to work on that because I always love how they shoot out the fireworks, the power attendants.
Oh, pyrotechnics. I thought you said power for a second. Yeah, well, that's a huge. You have to really be trained on that kind of stuff. That's
Yeah,
not
you
an easy
do.
job.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. And of course, with the WWE, we do have. I do want to bring up Michelle, guys. Could you see Michelle in the ring taking on anyone? And who would it be?
No, I don't think Michelle is going to be a wrestler. No.
If she did, say for like a celebrity event.
Well, I think that Michelle has proven that her athleticism has been used for unbelievable causes, and the fact that
Yes,
she
like
was able to run the
yeah, she did
marathon for the B Foundation is amazing.
yeah, she did the marathon with all the money going to the Jimmy V Foundation. I'm actually
Amazing.
I love being part of I like to get myself involved in the Jimmy V Foundation myself as well as my show with Young Sports because I have lots of family members and friends who are not too cancer. A childhood friend I grew up with, Carl Wendell, of course, he passed a while back. He had cancer throughout his life as a kid. Of course, family that had it, but that's nothing but it wasn't.
It's a horrible thing, obviously, and Michelle did such an
Yeah.
amazing thing running the
She
marathon
did.
to raise
She
so
did.
much
And
money for that.
I definitely applaud her. And tomorrow, on Sportsmanlike, there's one thing I want you to do for me. There's one thing I want you to do on Sportsmanlike tomorrow with Michelle and Chris, if he's in. Can see who can pick out the word of the day first, but can like me backtrack myself here. Sometimes I go a little nuts.
All good. We all do.
But anyway, I would like tomorrow on Sportsmanlike. Of course, I love having a shout out. I would love to have a shout out if you don't mind doing that. Because I do want to get this my show on the map going forward. And if you put a shout out,
But you
from
got
me,
to start, Sadler, you got to start one step at a time. That's what I was able to do. And many people that you're able to start with that one step where I was on in Madison, and then I got the
Right.
opportunity to be on in West Palm, and then I got the
Yes.
opportunity to fill in nationally. And I think it starts, obviously, in the town you're in with Ashton.
Yeah, of course. I just want to get
He's a tough grader, though. So you
Yeah,
got to
for
really
sure. I
work
think
hard with Ashton.
Sadler knows by now that I'm a tough grader.
Yeah, I just want to like a quick shout out. How you just tell me how tomorrow? Just tell everybody on.
Oh, we did that video for you. We did that video for you, and you've been, and I do
Yes.
want to thank you because you've been a great supporter of our show, and I
For
know you
sure.
watch it and listening to it all the time. And it's been amazing that how much support you've shown for ESPN Radio and ESPN Madison, and we appreciate it, Sadler. We really do.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, not many people with disabilities get a chance to work in their dream job. I'm doing that right here. I got one job.
Oh, you're way ahead of everybody. You're an inspiration and you're a hero to so many.
Yeah, and of course you have family with Down syndrome and autism. Want to talk about a little bit more about that?
Yeah, not. I don't know. I don't want to speak towards specific diagnoses, obviously, but yes, I have multiple family members and people very close in my life that have challenges, I would say, and that everyone learns differently, everyone thinks differently, and I think that one of the greatest things I ever heard was from somebody that too many people focus on those disabilities instead of the abilities. And clearly your ability is way stronger than any disability you have, and your ability to do what you do in terms of creating your show and things like that is amazing. And that's why I'm saying you're inspirational and heroic, because it's about the ability and not the disability.
Yeah, I know you got a hard out coming up in a few minutes. Before we do, I do want to ask you one last question. Well, it'll be two-piece. We do have the NFL Combine coming up. What do you see is going to be the breakout in the Combine?
I think the biggest storyline is, will there be another quarterback in addition to Mendoza drafted in the first round? And who's the first non-quarterback drafted? Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. Could it be him? Could it be any of the offensive tackles, including the guy out of Miami? So I think who's the first non-quarterback, and will there be a second quarterback in the first round? And I think that's going to be a huge storyline at the Combine.
Yes, also on the football end, there have been actually WWE wrestlers that have played football.
Yeah, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Dwayne Johnson,
Yes,
Ron Simmons.
true. And of course, Rock, Dwayne Johnson, in
Yeah.
Miami, even though he did not get to play in the NFL, he is part of the UFL. He's part owner of the UFL. What is your take on the UFL now? Because it has changed.
My take on the UFL is very simple. I work with Michelle Smallman. She's from St. Louis. She loves the St. Louis Battlehawks, the caw that she does. So I am now legally obligated to root for them out of fear that Smalls will come after me. So I got to root for the Battlehawks.
Well, that's too bad. I had to go with the Birmingham Stallions.
Well, that's your town, just like hers is St. Louis and yours is in Alabama. So there you go.
Well, I got a little more edge on you because Alabama's head coach is the former Alabama quarterback himself, A.J. McCarron.
I like A.J. McCarron a lot. I thought A.J. McCarron was going to have a good NFL career, and I thought A.J. McCarron was a great college quarterback.
All right, this is the final question. I know you got that hard out. What do you think about the NFL draft coming forward after the Combine and the legal champion period?
Yeah, like the order of it, you're saying?
Basically.
Yeah, I need to think about that more because I'm not sure in general what the best order is, right? Like in the NBA, you have the draft first and then free agency. In the NFL, you have free agency and then the draft. I think probably the NBA does it better where you draft the players and then you see what you need after that, heading into free agency would be my guess.
Not true. And of course, they both got waivers.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Well, the all of the transactional stuff and guys changing teams and getting traded and free agency and draft is always so fun to watch.
All right. Well, that was Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike. Thank you for joining me, and I hope I can get you on again. And in fact, I would like to get Chris, if we should get Chris and Michelle on, because I want to get some.
Ashton's your way of doing all of this. So, Sadler, thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it, and congratulations again to you and all of your success.
Thanks. And of course, you can see Evan on Unsportsmanlike Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. a.m. Central Time, Eastern Time. So, with that, have a great one. And Evan, tomorrow, what do you think the word of the day is going to be?
I have no idea.
But the only way to find out is to watch tomorrow with Michelle, Chris, and Evan. Until then, have a great day. And hey, Evan, go get yourself some cheese coats.
Thank you, Sadler.
See you all next
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Nice.
I gotta jump on this call with Evan.